Alright, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, Mission 45. This is the Extract Armored Vehicles objective. This mission can definitely be a pain. Even if you aren't going for any of the optional objectives, it still kinda sucks. In fact, this was the last mission objective I completed just because of the difficulty level. That being said, I would recommend that if anyone's having trouble with this objective, just do the same thing. Yeah, there are ways with video tutorials out there that you can complete all of the objectives in one run with S rank and everything, but unless you want to retry this mission over and over until you're absolutely livid, swallow your pride and just do multiple runs. Coming properly geared for this objective is absolutely crucial. Another reason why I chose to save it for the last. Namely, or most essential I should say, is the parasite suit. You are definitely going to want to have this thing. Unfortunately, the suit alone is not going to do you any good. You're also going to need parasite cartridges, specifically the armor ones. Without these, you basically are shit out of luck, so go farm or whatever until you have them. They require salvaging specific parasites from the skulls to develop, which is another reason that it kind of makes sense to do this objective last. It's also nice to have cartridges upgraded so the ammo capacity is at least 6. I wouldn't say this is necessary, but it gives you a little bit more time to get the supply drops if they're far away. You're also going to need to make sure that your support team is leveled up enough to use weather modification, sandstorms. Doing this is going to restrict your rank to A, so if you're going for S, you can probably pull it off without weather mods. Just make sure you have the max amount of armor cartridge ammo. Other than that, the items and equipment I use here are basically a luxury. Oh, except the Maneater cassette tape. That's a requirement. Alright, so the first thing you want to do here is call up the iDroid menu, go into Fire Support, Weather Modification, and Sandstorm. This will call in a Sandstorm, which is going to restrict your ranking to A, but as I said before, I went through and did the S rankings on different playthroughs. Some of these secondary objectives are kind of hard, so it helps to do them by themselves. Once the sandstorm's there, run out towards the first set of headlights. Make sure you have your parasite armor cartridges equipped and that you used it with the R3 button. You have to activate each one, otherwise it's not going to work. So run up to the first vehicle. I like to just kind of crouch and walk alongside them, so that it kind of keeps the vehicle that you're trying to extract from shooting you. And once it stops, Fulton it out. If you happen to run into guards, incapacitate them in whatever the fastest method for you is. And then make your way towards the next set of headlights. Always keeping an eye on your armor cartridges. This one I'm using is getting a bit low. And again, just kind of walk alongside the vehicle until it comes to a stop. Went ahead and equipped my Ergen air pistol. Sometimes it takes a while for the vehicle to come to a stop. And Fulton it out. Sometimes you can ignore the guards, sometimes they're more so in your way. Make your way to the next vehicle. Fulton that out. And then look for your next target. Sometimes if you can't find them, it helps to use the night vision goggles. And then once you spot it, just make sure you switch back to your armor cartridges and Fulton it out. Another tank. Wait for it to come to a stop. And Fulton it out just as before. Arrogant air pistol. It's really nice for getting rid of these guards quickly. The aiming doesn't have to be really precise, it has a really wide spread. So there's the tank. Switch back to the armor cartridges and run towards its headlights. Fulton them out. And go for the supply drop. All you really need those for are your armor cartridges. I tend to refill once I get down to about halfway. My max ammo count is 6, so when it gets down to about 3, I tend to run for the supply drops. Equip the armor cartridges and Fulton out the vehicle. The sandstorm wears off, you're gonna have to call another one. I like to lay down as I do this. You're really gonna have to kind of find an opportunity because there's lots of soldiers out here and sometimes it's hard to find an opening. But once the sandstorm's back, you should be in good shape. My cartridge is out here, so I'm gonna take out the guard, re-equip one. These guys with the shields are dicks. It's probably best to just, avoid them if at all possible. That one was really pissing me off, so I had to knock him out. Another vehicle. Another shield dick. Just look at this. Come on. So, chase up to the next vehicle. Extract. I grab these just for the hell of it. Even though I really didn't need cartridges. Erging out those guards. Make my way over to the next vehicle. One more. Is that it? They are a little bit tricky to find sometimes. The night vision goggles definitely help. Here comes another one. Just walk alongside and wait for it to stop. Folding it out just as before. Yeah, I mean, if the supply drops are close, you might as well grab them. But don't bother running far for one unless you're really low. Sure to reuse your armor cartridges when you start taking damage and seeing the burn splotches on the screen. So I'm having a little bit of trouble finding this last vehicle here. Once you Fulton them all out, you complete the mission task. And the last thing you gotta do is take out the helicopter. I prefer to use the CGM for that, of course. Get a lock and kaboom. Once the helicopter is taken out, that marks the end of the battle. In this last little bit here, you have to run towards the landing zone with quiet. In retrospect, it would have helped here to have had my weapon readied so I could dispose of any guards on the way to the landing zone. Sometimes you encounter them, sometimes you don't. For the most part, you just run straight ahead to the landing zone, but I've done this without encountering them and with encountering them. So definitely be prepared just in case. I was not ready for this up here, and I kind of had to make a split-second decision on how to deal with these guards. But if you're unable to pull out a weapon in time, this is an option. And once the guards are incapacitated, pick quiet back up and continue to the landing zone. Port quiet. She's a weapon. So continue making your way to the landing zone. Once you get close enough, it should trigger the final set of cinematics. After everything tallies up here,
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
you should get your mission ranking. Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain, Mission 45.